Next we have Bishop Griffin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow. I hold in my hand two sets of numbers. 4276 that you've seen behind me, 1200 that you see before. The 1200 represents 1200 voices. 1200 children is the reason why I'm standing here today. 1200 kids from Bridgeport, 1200 children that spoke with their pens when they filled out applications just to be on a waiting list. 1200 children that said that I'll take a chance and wait for hope. 1200 kids that said, I'm waiting for a better choice. 1200 children that declared that they deserve better. 1200 children 1200 voices that's crying like John the Baptist did when he declared that I'm just the voice of one crying in the wilderness. Crying in the wilderness of despair, crying in the wilderness of failure. 29 schools, 27 of them are failing. We need better choices. We need a better opportunity. And the state of Connecticut, along with the governor, his leadership, we know the governor has appointed the board, and the board also does what the governor says. And we need to let the governor know. And the board, and hold the board to a promise that they made, that they'll give children a better opportunity, that they'll give children a better chance and better choices. America has failed to deliver on the promissory note, and we have tried to cash in year after year. But it's time to hold their feet to the fire. It's time for them to step up to the plate and vote in favor of all 4 schools. We fought in Bridgeport, Reverend Mose, McCullough, and myself, when we were at Dunbar, a local school on the east end of Bridgeport. And we said, 17 years, Dunbar has produced gang members, murderers, thieves, and people that fill the prison system. And we were tired of seeing our kids go to jail, tired of seeing our children being in prison because they're failing in the school system. And we said, change it or close it. Not another option. Well, thank God today we have Fuse, Jumoke Academy, that's taken over Dunbar, and they're doing great. So I side with choice. Came here to Connecticut 21 years ago, and our children didn't have a chance from Boston, didn't have a chance at a good education. We know Boston is the educational capital of America. All of the great schools are there. And coming here, we didn't have any good schools. So we sent our kids to private schools. My daughter, my son, they've all been a part of Eastern Country Day. My daughter graduated when she went on to Colby Cathedral as salutatorian of the school. She's on the dean's list, has been on the dean's list for all 3 years at Fairfield University. My son is in his 2nd year at UB. He's been on the president's list, having the highest grade in the entire school, the 3.9 something. Incredible. Simply because we decided that failure was not an option. It's time for us to tell the state of Connecticut that you need to get off the fence, stop being in the middle, playing the politics with our children, fighting with adults while the children are suffering. It's time to get off the fence. when the prophet Elijah came, he stumbled across a prophet by the name of Obadiah, who was straddling the fence. And Jeremiah called out to that prophet. He says, Obadiah, how long will you continue to be halted between two opinions? It's time, either you're going to stand on God's side or stand on the side of evil. It's time for the governor and the state board to show us who they really are. And if they're for choice, and we pray that they are, that they'll step over, sign off, vote off, and say yes to all four choices so that our children can have a better opportunity. Thank you.
Can we say champion? Champion! Can we say champion? Champion! Our last speaker is truly a champion for so many kids. A person that battles oftentimes alone, as a member of the Bridgeport Board of Education, but someone that I've actually been able to find something new doing this process is the brother can sing, having to go to his church 2 Sundays. Yeah. He's Reverend Kenneth Moles is definitely fighting a good fight. Definitely leading and educating people about options, about their choice. When there's opportunities that for the Bridgeport community, he's often first in line exposing that to the masses. We cannot thank you enough for your leadership to get all 4 charters, but specifically Great Oaks and Dr. Perry, with getting so many folks to speak out, including your son and daughter. Thank you. Without further ado, Reverend Moles.
Thank you very much, Jeremiah, and thank you all community supporters, parents, educators, and especially to those that actually submitted applications. I just want to say on behalf of these students that are waiting for your schools to come here, we want to just say thank you to all the parents that have been looking, and they'll try to suggest that parents are not active and that the disenfranchised and the struggling parent, the single parent and the parent of color and Spanish or Latino speaking or bilingual parents are not really in the education. But the truth of the matter is they're waiting for your schools to open. And the moment that you open them, I assure you, you'll meet the greatest minds. As I sat here today, I watched these wonderful students sitting here waiting to perform and to share again. And I thought of our schools in Bridgeport and just considered how long would they be able to sit there, which lets me know something. It has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with environment. In some way they've been loved enough and taught how to be disciplined, how to sit patiently, how to be inquisitive and yet be children. Believe it or not, unfortunately, my assignment is failure. It's where the Lord has me now. My requirement, my energy, my strength is all committed to failure.
That's right.
I must change every failing school in my city. I operate our own parochial school. I operate 3 daycares. All of my children are in private school. But that's not where the Lord left me. That's not where He sent me. He sent me to failure. 32 schools in the city of Bridgeport, 27 are failing. I can't pastor a church when I know the majority of my members can't read the book I'm preaching from. And I'm at a place now, unfortunately, unlike many other pastors or many other communities, my assignment is failure. I have to address the failing schools. Why do you say that, Pastor Moses? Why do you do that? You could take your children or operate your own school, your own daycare. One of the greatest graduates of Morehouse College, and by far, one of the reasons that many of us are here doing what we are able to do is because of Dr. Martin Luther King, who attended Morehouse at 16 years old in an early college program. There in 1963 in Norway, Oslo, when he was receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, he said something that has become my marching orders. And he says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. For us to be here and to actually have 4 well-written, commendable applications means that someone besides Dr. King, someone besides Fuse, someone besides the educators that are here, hear the beating drum, hear the hearts of the people, and they understand that what I understand, that their assignment is not to the wealthy, it is not to those that are rich, that have the most, but their assignment, much like mine, is to failure. What assignment is it? To prove that the failure is not real. It's a myth. It's a reality. For too long, our children, our community, and even, unfortunately, even educators have accepted as truth. And the reality is these schools are not only empowering, not only changing the world, but they're destroying failure at monumental rates, where children who would love the opportunity to just have a chance for a passionate teacher. Maybe they don't have a praxis, maybe they're not tenured, but they have passion. And a passion that doesn't look at their clock, and it doesn't look at a contract. It looks at a child who needs someone to love them enough to teach them to read. So I'm saying to all of you that are here, my heart goes out to you. You ought to be commended. We appreciate your commitment. We appreciate your valor. I am and forever indebted to Dr. Sharp and the Fuse for coming into Bridgeport. Dunbar School is in walking distance of where I live. It's where my wife worked for 8 years. For 8 years, I had to wipe my wife's tears, going into work at 7 and getting home at 8:30 every night, trying to commit to something, only to see eventually this program come in and change lives. And what we've seen within less than a year, the failure myth is destroyed. The cleanest school we have in the entire district is in the area that they said they can't keep it clean. And I just want to say to you, and those of you that are here, our commitment and the reason we're here is to let the governor, the commissioner of education, and the state board know that we know that they'll do the right thing. We believe in our heart that they will, because there's a righteous requirement. There's a moral imperative for them to do what's right. And we understand that the union is doing what they're supposed to do. They receive dues, millions of dollars to protect teachers. But those of us that are not on the take, those of us that don't have the benefits of that, we work for free. And our fight is very simple. We want every child to have an education and have the opportunity. So I want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the governor, thank the commissioner of education and the board for approving all 4 of these applications, because not one of them should not be open. And truth be told, if you ask, this number would go from 4,200 to 40,000 if they had an opportunity to attend these schools. So I'm excited about what's going to happen in this state. I'm excited about the reform efforts, and I appreciate all that's happening, especially from those clergy that are here, and we are extremely proud of what our brother Morrison is doing in New Haven. He's not just talking it, he's stopping his preaching notes, interrupting tithes and offering and communion, and he's taking time to teach the congregants. Yeah. That is a powerful testimony of the redemptive work of Jesus Christ. And we appreciate all your commitment, and we appreciate what all you're doing. And let it be known, if our children are not protected in this vote, someone will suffer, and it will not be us. Thank you.
So just to sort of bring all of this home around what is the purpose of what we do and why are we here and why does this matter? We've had some wonderful students that have given up. This is actually their spring break. So they have given up of their time, their spring break, to join us today. And we have a couple of groups that are here to perform. One is our wind ensemble, and I'll let you guys introduce your names. And then we also have our string ensemble that will be performing as well. So please just share your names real quickly, and then tell us your song.
Yvonne.
I'm Brian O'Zine. I'm in the 7th grade at the Hartford Conservatory.
I'm Anthony O'Zane. I'm also in the 7th grade at the Hartford Conservatory.
I'm Brianna O'Zane, and I'm in the 8th grade. And our song we're performing is American Folk Trilogy, which is a combination of 3 songs put in one of America's most famous songs. So we're gonna perform it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
And next up, we have students from our, And I'm going to actually ask, once the students are set up, I'm going to ask one of our great educators in this building to introduce the ensemble. Miss Charlotte Whitman-Logan. How long have you been with Jumoke Academy?
My 9th year.
This is her 9th year with Jumoke Academy, and she is the arts coordinator for the Hartford Conservatory, and has been doing an incredible job of creating opportunities for our students to perform, to perfect their skills, and to really have a great educational experience around the arts. So, Ms. Whitman-Logan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dickerson. It's so great to get to hear the words of everybody who's here today supporting charter schools and supporting our students. These are, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, but we have some 7th and 8th graders from our orchestra program. They're all playing violin today, and they're going to be performing an excerpt from Finale for Serenade, from Serenade for Strings by Tchaikovsky. And Olivia, you want to start just introducing yourself?
I'm Olivia.
Oh.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Kate Jenkins. I'm Micaiah Robinson.